Okay, so now I'm going to play the Reduke 5-color Sultai deck. I like Sultai in this meta because of Casualties of War. I'm interested to see how it holds up. I think it's got a pretty bad matchup against Teamer Wreck and a pretty awful matchup against Flash. But this one's interesting. This hand is okay. We have the Thought Erasure to try to hit our land drops. We're up against most likely Bant Yorion here. So we're going to have to make our discard spells count. But luckily Casualties of War is decent against them. Now, that deck does play Dispute main deck, but if they do that, then they don't get the Omen down yet. Okay. So, Teferi's not really that scary. Elspeth Conquers Death is annoying. They have 2 Omens, so taking 1 isn't ideal. I think I'll take an Omen. I don't want them blinking that with the Yorion. Goose is an okay play for next turn. Bottom's good. So they can't crack that for Growth Spiral mana yet. We'll play the Goose. Tap land out of the way and say go. So they can Teferi next turn. I guess they can bounce the Goose if they want. If they don't, if they do play Teferi but don't bounce the Goose, then Casualties of War looks pretty nice.
I'm known for my excellent timing.
Bounce the food instead, that's okay. It's annoying, it sets us back 1 turn on our Cavalier. Uro is pretty nice. So we can Uro into both Fabled Passages, and that lets us keep up the Goose for food at the end of their turn. And I'll just crack these. I'll crack 1 of them for blue. Put the Fear of God in them. Oh, I should have changed the basic land art. Now I'm gonna lose. Okay, so this game doesn't count. We don't have the right land art in.
I've got time.
They have their own Uro. It's fine. Alright, so next turn, unless they run, like, negate, we have Casualties of War. Alright, we have... Does this produce black? No, it doesn't, so we need to fetch a swamp. I feel like I should have gotten priority back there, no? To tap the Goose? Oh, I don't have green open. Oh well. Okay, so we can Casualties of War, kill Teferi, Omen, and... I guess the Forest. Bombs away. That feels pretty good. We've got another one in our pocket. 5 cards in the bin, so Oro's coming back soon. They missed their land drop, which is sick. We don't quite have enough for Risen Reef into Cavalier. But next turn, if we draw the land, we can Risen Reef and play Yorion to flicker both. So this plays into Mystical Dispute. Risen Reef doesn't. If they play the Mystical Dispute on this, though, then we have Casualties of War. More likely to resolve next turn anyway. And if this resolves, then we get the land on the field. Yeah, sure. That's fine. And we'll just say go. Can make a food end of turn. They missed their land drop again. We're pretty happy to see that. So we hit our land drop. We can Risen Reef and Yorion. Hopefully they don't have another counterspell. If they do, they might feel tempted to use it on the Risen Reef. In fact, because I think they're likely to have a counterspell, I might just escape Uro here. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Okay, they let that resolve, which makes me think they don't have a counterspell, because I think that would have been worth countering. We'll say go. They find land, but it's not green. So they can Elspeth Conquers Death the Uro. Now we can kill that Elspeth Conquers Death with the Casualties of War and try to keep them off of their... Because if they can play Yorion next turn, they'll flicker it. So we can Casualties of War and Uro here, which seems pretty good. I think I want to get rid of the temple. Maybe I should have led with Uro there. See what we drew first. Gross power's not bad. We got a lot of live draws in our deck at this point. They're still missing green. Shatter. Okay. So does that fill the graveyard? Not quite. Alright, so do we just play a naked Yorion? Just start beating them down? I don't know. That's what I'm going to try to do. If they kill it, then we can bring back Uro the following turn. Opponent goes to second main. They do nothing. Alright, so we'll Thought Erasure then. Which puts another card in the bin to get Uro out. What do you got? Hydroid Krasis, Nissa. They're 2 lands away from Nissa. They're 1 land away from Krasis. But I feel like... That's a tricky take. think we want Krasis. It gets value for them. Happy to take a Risen Reef. So we're playing, if we play Uro, then we're playing in to shatter this guy. But we also get to play Risen Reef. Alright, Blast Zone is on 3. So do we play Uro and just get deeper into the deck? I think so. I can't bring myself to waste this mana. Even though we know it's gonna get shattered. And I will play the Risen Reef. And I guess I'll hold the Growth Spiral for their turn. They will shatter this board, obviously, but it puts extra cards in the bin for Uro. Wow. Okay, so they just kill the Risen Reef and the Uro? Sure. It's hard to imagine them doing that when they're land screwed. Oh, they found the green. Alright. So that means that Tamiyo can come. Alright. So Fabled Passage thins the deck a little bit, fills the graveyard for Uro. I don't think it matters what we get. No real reason to play the Druid. Well, is there? I think so, because if they shatter, then next turn we get to bring back Uro. Growth Spiral. Okay, so they're going to shatter now. They still haven't found the second green for Nissa. We do want to find the second Casualties of War for when that happens. Oh, Teferi.
Sorry I'm late.
Okay.
Might be a bad idea.
That feels wrong. But I guess it can't be too bad. It keeps us from recurring Uro. I think I'll just try again. Force them to shatter. And I guess I'll keep the land in hand. Narset is irritating.
Past, present, and future hone your prowess.
Another Teferi. Okay, so they can run that back.
Let's try this. You show remorse, I'll show restraint. That's more like it.
Oh, we pull the Thought Erasure. That's pretty good. So we can discard Nissa. They have 2. Cavalier takes 3, so they can't play that next turn. Shatter deals with Yorion in a way that nothing else that they have does. And we can bring back Uro. And play Yorion. See what we can do.
Meditate and prepare.
Elspeth Conquers Death. Which one do they take? I would probably take Uro. found second green. Alright.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Nissa. Okay. So they have Yorion available next turn to flicker Elspeth Conquers Death, which is irritating. So if we play Nissa, we animate a land, we hit them for 7, they're down to 5. Then they Yorion flicker the Elspeth Conquers Death and target Nissa. And then they have a 4/5 blocker for the Nissa land and the Yorion. Doesn't feel great. So I think I'm just going to hold Nissa in hand. Yeah, we'll hold her for now.
Here goes nothing.
I guess she does cost 7 now. That's probably a reason to play her. Yeah. So now we want like casualties off the top.
Only time will tell.
Train harder.
I am not losing this one.
One the veil of love are lost.
Thought erasure instead. Now I guess I'll get Nissa down.
Power surges through these lands. The land shall conquer you.
That hand is busted. See, now anything I discard Tamio comes down and gets back. But if they take a turn to do that, they might just die. I think Cavalier. Yeah, but I think we're losing this game, unfortunately.
With thoughtfulness before action.
Time wipe. Yeah. It's pretty good.
I'll protect you.
Can they do both? No, they don't have any. Yeah, actually they can cast Time Wipe now, I suppose. Or just else with Conquer's Death. Yeah, we're in trouble. Cavalier is not the worst, I guess. We can try to mill an Oro into the bin. We do. It's not great when they have Narset. But I don't think we have any way of dealing with her coming anytime soon.
Keep an open mind.
We've got a few cracks at them. It's not, oh. Well, now we don't really. Neutralize is going to be a tough one to play around at this point when we're top decking. They cast Time Wipe here. If they cast Time Wipe, we get the Mythos back, but Yeah, I think we can just safely go to game 2 here. So, what does Reed have to say about the Bant matchup? It says to bring in 2 disputes, 2 ether gusts, 2 Mythos of Lunas, and take out the calves, take out all the geese, and 1 of the druids. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Alright. Probably badly misplayed that first game. It's my first time playing the deck. Yeah, love it. Opponent mulligans twice. We'll just play the Growth Spiral main phase. I don't want it getting countered. They hold up 2. We don't have anything we really want to do yet, so just say go. Omen. I think I'll take the chance to make sure the Growth Spiral resolves. Top is scary. I feel like this is supposed to be a good matchup for us, but in the hot seat, it doesn't seem that way. They just seem so much more proactive than we do. They have neutralize as well. Mythos destroys any non-land permanent at this point. But I think we just want to be able to get casualties, so I think the Weavekin Druid is the way to go, and hold up Ether Gust, and hope we can draw the land. So they're just holding up neutralize. It's probably smart.
Hone your prowess.
Elspeth Conquers Death. Alright. So, we can cast casualties this turn. I'm not sure we want to. I think I'll shock this in and say go and hold up Ether Gust and Mythos. There's no reason to run this out into a counterspell when they want to tap out. That Bant deck does have some moments where it's really awkward to hold up 3 mana. So they made it to 5. Uro. Comfortable gusting that. If they don't have the untapped blue land, then they don't have neutralize anymore. Great. Sure. And then we get Casualties of War off on 3 permanents, which is not bad. They do have Elspeth Conquers Death, but at the moment they have no targets. I guess we can also cast Mythos on Narset. Yeah, I think I like that more, actually.
I was not prepared for
Yeah,
this.
okay. And that means if we play Uro here, we still have Ether Gust up, and possibly Mythos. Ooh, or Thought Erasure. Thought Erasure's pretty good too. But we can't cast it with this. So we'll just hold up Mythos and keep Thought Erasure available for when we want to push through casualties later. Nissa. Oh, this doesn't produce blue, so we can't Gust Nissa. That's a bit of a tilt. So they don't have a breeding pool to untap, so they can't hold up Neutralize, which makes this a decent casualties turn.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
The attack we won't block because we need this mana to cast casualties. They did untap a forest, though. Holding up just plain, just Mystical Dispute, I guess, if they have it. If they have Mystical Dispute, I think I'll cast Mythos on Nissa here and assume that they'll dispute that if they have it. And then if they do counter it, then we have casualties the following turn. Yeah. Cool. And now there's really nothing to do here besides just destroy them. Creature. And temple.
Forgive me.
So they have Neutralize back, but now we have Mystical Dispute in our hand. How many cards in the bin? 7. So we can bring back Oro next turn if we want.
I have practiced against meditate and prepare.
Ether Gust. Alright, so they can't counter Oro here. But oh, I should have fetched a blue source. Yeah, I can't cast Oro now. Now I guess is our chance to discard Elspeth Conquer's Death, though. Teferi's annoying against Ether, given that our hand is Ether Gust Dispute. And they can't cast Elspeth Conquer's Death next turn. I don't think we can afford to have Teferi resolve. This is a good one. We can just Yorion and get a body onto the board. And then if they exile that, then we get Nissa on board next turn. We don't have anything we really want to flicker anyway. I think I'm okay with that. I spent so much time playing this Bant deck that I assume all these 3-color lands produce blue, but this one doesn't. He finds Teferi. What do you do with it? Do you bounce Yorion?
Don't worry, I got this.
So here we can Nissa, untap a forest, kill Teferi, and have Mystical Dispute available for the Elspeth Conquer's Death that comes down. Yeah.
Seek shelter in my spirit. Behold, nature's true power.
just say go. Alright. Oh, on our upkeep they try to gust Nissa. Are we okay with that? I don't think so. I think I want to counter that. Okay, that resolved. Nice. Opponent says good game. Okay. I don't think that was over, but I'll take it. I do feel like this is a bad matchup. Reed says it's a good one, and he's smarter than me. But I don't know. I feel like we're just behind. They keep tapping out and making life difficult for us. They have to ferry in, which makes even the post-board version difficult to get anything to resolve. But Casualties of War is just a bomb when you can get it to resolve. So if we can force it through like we did that game, then maybe we are favored. It's hard for me to say. Now we're on the draw. Yeah, okay. Okay, we'll have to shock in the breeding pool. But we don't want the growth spiral to get countered. That would be a disaster. So we'll say go. We'll definitely get this resolved now. Bottom. Opponent looks like they've been having serious trouble getting their green mana out. They have Uro. Sure. So we have Risen Reef. We can try to scry into a land, so that gives us some ramp, and then we can try to Nissa into Hydroid Krasis, but it seems so likely that she's going to get Elspeth Conquered Death. Nevertheless, we'll scry. I guess we want to look for a counterspell now. Okay. So do they just cast the Yorion here? If they Elspeth Conquers Death the Risen Reef, I'm thrilled. Their own Nissa. Okay. So that gives us a chance to resolve ours. But we won't have 3 mana for the Mystical Dispute. However, if they tap out, no, I just think we need to kill Nissa here, unfortunately. We can kill Nissa and hold up nothing. We can hold up Mystical Dispute against a blue spell. If we play our own Nissa and they play Elspeth Conquers Death on our Nissa, then it's a disaster. also cast a 3/3 Krasis. You can play Yorion and flicker that. I think that's actually okay. There's nothing else we really want to flicker with Yorion. We can flicker the Risen Reef, try to get some ramp out of it, and if they conquer Yorion, then that's not so bad. And that lets our, if they do tap out for else with Conqueror's Death, then we have casualties. Shatter's not worse. Can live with that. So they don't have Neutralize, but they do have Mystical Dispute.
Harness the elements.
So that's 5 mana left over. That's so greedy. That's so greedy. Alright, well this is just a very clear Casualties of War. Is it though, actually? So what do they get back? They get back another Nissa. But they play her and we just continue playing Magic, right? If we play Nissa here, then we untap a forest, we'll have 4 total mana left over. Which isn't really enough to do anything. I think we have to Casualties here, unfortunately. Do I even want to kill the Cavalier? Yeah, we're on 12.
I must seek comfort in the land.
They probably put Nissa on top, right? Nothing else really makes a whole lot of sense. They target a land? Okay, so they just decline to put anything on top. That's pretty scary. Means they've already got another Nissa in hand, most likely. Yeah, okay.
In this land, we are all connected.
And I guess they bring back
The
Oro.
land fights for us.
So Mythos doesn't kill... Yeah. It doesn't kill the Nissa lands.
I can help you no longer.
I feel like if we were on the play this game, we would be way ahead. But we didn't, so we're not. So we have 7 mana available. If we cast Nissa, we have 2, 4, 6 mana left. We can cast a 4/4 Krasis with that. Or we can cast Mythos on Nissa. I'm not sure what to do. I mean, the Oro and the Nissa are both pretty serious threats. Alright. Go fetch a forest. Actually, I think I want to fetch blue.
I protect that which cannot protect itself.
can cast... Yeah, we'll just cast a 4/4 Krasis and hope it's good enough. But I am scared. We want another casualties pretty badly. They are on 2, 4, 6, 8, 11 overall mana. They have the Krasis of their own were in trouble. They just threw away the mana. So Nissa's dead no matter what here, right? Yeah.
I am in need of rest.
Casualties, and we're right back in it. At 5% of our deck. I think the Yorion version of this Sultai deck is bad. I think that the reason you play Sultai is for the 4 copies of Casualties of War, and playing 80 cards in your deck makes it much less likely you'll draw that card. And what do you get out of playing the 80 card deck with the extra color manas? You get to cast Mythos, which is not ideal. So there's Teferi. Frustrating. And Tameo.
Like the phases of the moon, I think you will find my modes helpful.
Yeah, they're trying to shut the door on us here. So, Krasis can kill Teferi. Mythos can kill Nissa, but Tameo will get her right back. We can Uro twice. We can Uro and bring back Uro. But then we're just at the mercy of these planeswalkers. Gotta say, none of these options really seem all that appealing. I think we want to cast one side of Uro no matter what here. So we'll see what we draw. Yeah. How much time are we on? 7 minutes. That's plenty of time. Kill Teferi.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
And I guess if we kill Nissa and they recast her, that's their whole turn. We'll do that now while they can't counter it.
The land will not forsake you.
And are we worried about them casting a blue spell? I think they're most likely to cast Nissa again. And our life total really does matter here. So I'll just play Breeding Pool, tapped, and say go. But I think we're pretty screwed here. The two cards they're most likely to play. Well, I was going to say Elspeth Conquer Step, but that doesn't hit the Krasis. So really it's just Nissa. So we're taking 12 here. Dream Trawler. Okay. Dream Trawler's pretty good against us, actually. We don't have any answer to that. Yeah, I think this one's gotten away from us. Alright. Well, we'll resurrect Oro here. Because we need the life. We pulled the casualties before. According to my deck tracker, anyway. Oh, no, we didn't. It just... never mind. We want this on the battlefield no matter what. How much mana do we have? 4, 5? Yeah, and now we just have to hold up Mythos. Probably to kill Uro there on their turn. Chalking in is terrifying. We want more casualties. Down to 2 of them in the deck. They're fishing in their graveyard for probably Nissa. Is that just lethal?
The past is never forgotten.
6, 12, 18. I don't think we're dead unless they have Elspeth Conquers Death after the Nissa. They have the mana to pay for a dispute, so that resolves.
Strange and magnificent world.
Okay.
The land shall
There's no way we win this on time either. Alright, so we'll kill Uro here before it can attack, for what it's worth. Wow. Okay. What happened? No, I want the breeding pool to die. How? Come on. There we go. So that Krasis will trample through in the air next turn, so we do have to do something. They don't have Elspeth Conquers Death here, right? Shatter. Okay. Mythos of Illuna. So we can copy Nissa and then kill her? Yeah? Okay.
We will not fail. Fight on without me.
Now we can animate. What do we want to animate? We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 mana. So we can cast both sides of a row if we want. Just animate a forest.
Harness the elements.
We want to kill Tamio. Or we want to get Tamio down to 1 so she can't fish a Nissa out of the bin.
You are setting a bad example.
Setting a bad example. Deal with it, Tamio. I don't think we want the... And I guess I'll play the Leafkin Druid. And that still keeps up Mystical Dispute for what it's worth. It's another blocker. Now they can pay for Mystical Dispute if they have Elspeth Conquer's Death. We're very low on the clock though, so gotta go fast.
I know to be somewhere.
Found Krasis. Hopefully they tap out for that. Oh, I don't have blue open for Dispute. That's what Conquers Death. Yeah, so they take Nissa here.
I must go.
Okay. See what we can draw.
I question this outcome.
They can flicker the Elspeth Conquer's Death with their Yorion. Ugh. Well, we might as well do this. It's never going to be a good card again. Oh, they just let that resolve. Oh, we are toast. Okay.
Together, we will prevail. Behold, nature's true power.
Yeah. Just auto pass.
If you wish to surrender now, I understand. Keep an open mind.
Feel like I'm playing Blitz chess. Okay, we'll make a... Oh god, come on, come on, come on. Just make a 20/20 crisis. Yeah, we're out of time. I don't see any real way to win this anymore, unfortunately. If we're very lucky, we get to attack through with the Krasis twice. It does have trample.
Every story is an opportunity for new data. No tale should be discarded.
Ah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna concede at this point. Yeah, and now we don't have this, so we don't have the big Krasis anymore. That's rough. That's a tough one. I don't feel like we were ever really in it in Game 3 there. Just being on the draw was a little too much, but we'll have to go back and take a look. Good game, opponent.